Grassroots is where you come in from the ground floor. Somebody who just started, we're touching folks. We're actually out there, changing lives. It's not all about the money. It's more about what difference are you going to make in this world.
Greetings, wealth builders. Welcome to Get Diversified, your go-to podcast for all things real estate investments.
I'm Jacqueline.
Melvin Landry. We're thrilled to embark on this wealth building journey with you.
Imagine this. What if your investments not only secure your future, but also unlock a life of financial freedom? That's what we're diving into on this show. Apartment buildings, storage facilities, mobile home parks, the whole shebang.
But here's the kicker. It's not just about investing. It's about crafting a legacy, building memories with your loved ones, and seizing every moment. Time is the currency of life. And let's be real, none of us wants to waste.
We've got the insights, experience, and dash of excitement to spice up your investing game. Plus, we'll throw in some real-life stories that'll make you see the potential in every brick and mortar.
Subscribe, buckle up, and get ready to turn your investments into the ticket to financial freedom. Together, we're not just building wealth, we're building the community of savvy investors. Let's get diversified.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Get Diversified. I'm your host today, Jacqueline Landry, in case this is your first time tuning into our channel. So welcome, everybody. I have a very, very special lady with me today. Her name is Debbie Medina, and she goes by the Fix-It Queen. So welcome, Debbie, to our podcast, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you, Jackie, for having me today. There's a lot to tell about me. But I
like the 30-second.
The 30-second version of, me being an entrepreneur in the industry of real estate investing for the last 25 plus years, along with my other passion in being a strategist for grant development for nonprofits. But my overall person is, yes, I'm the Fix-It Queen. I fix everything. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm a grandma. I'm an aunt. I'm a everything person. So they always say, you're the one to come to fix it. So that's how we adopted the Fix-It Queen. I used to be the queen of real estate back many, many years ago, because they were like, you're the only one I know that works that hard, that goes out and runs out and just do it and get it done. And now I'm seem like I'm fixing problems from home life to businesses to all types of nonprofits, and kind of circle back to where my passion is. So that's what I guess I can say who I am now. It may evolve something else later. My family may say she's the go-to girl. She's the planner. She's the fixer. She does everything to keep the glue together. And they don't know what they would do without me. I don't know. I'm not bragging, but I'm just saying that in the long run, I don't know what they would do without me. So
I hear you on that. We have a lot of similarities. I feel like I'm the fix it queen too here, right? My son falls down the stairs, or he's doing something, right? Mom comes to the rescue, and we obviously problems in real estate, right? We trying to fix it or anything else. So I feel like there's a lot of similarities there too. So let me tell you a little bit about how Debbie and I met. So we are both co-authors in a book called Real Women in Real Estate. So this year the book was launched. So go out there and get it. It's on Amazon. And basically we have a chapter in that book. Both of us have our own chapters in that book, and we kind of tell our real estate story, kind of how we got started, or a little bit about a particular journey that we've had in real estate. So everybody go check it out. And when we were sitting at the table after the long interview process with the publisher, Debbie and I started talking about, what we were doing in real estate. And I found something very interesting, and I said, hey, I need to get you on my podcast. And specifically, it was about nonprofits. So Debbie, talk to us a little bit about what you do with the nonprofits and helping them find grant money, and how it can actually benefit people that are in real estate. So I know that's a long loaded question, but kind of just start about talking about the nonprofits.
Sure. Just to give a little bit about the background and why I got into working with nonprofits. So long time ago, I was a director and a principal for Christian programs and nonprofit organizations, and writing grants for nonprofits as a director, fund developer. I've been executive director. I've been principal. I've been some of everything in my previous life. It doesn't seem like it, but it was previous life. And having the passion to see the funding coming through and awarded the grants and having to be able to build new facilities and buildings for large nonprofit organizations. So it's like, this one day may be something that I would love to, stay passionate about. However, I had my son and I realized I didn't want to work 80 hours a week anymore for a nonprofit organization. And I didn't see the benefit of it because of the politics and some things along with it, because it was such a big nonprofit organization. And my son, he was just turning 1. And I asked my husband, said, hey, I really want to change careers. I really want to do something different. My husband was in a nonprofit organization as well. And he understood, I did have the passion and I missed the parents, the staff, the kids in what I was doing. But I needed more time to cultivate my child's, development and where he lands. So I decided to get into real estate. I took the real estate exam, passed it in October 1999. In December, October, I told the job I was leaving, and December 31st was my last day. And they asked me where was I going, and I said, I don't know, but I'm not staying here. So everybody thought I was crazy. How you leave a full-time job and you don't know where you're going? And I said, well, I'm going to give this real estate investing because that's what we thought, that we were going to do real estate investing. And then I decided to go ahead and work for a firm, got involved with the firm, and I just was still passionate about going in the office every day, listening. I was always one of those people that just wanted to pick up on things. If somebody didn't teach me, I was going to go out and learn it. Yeah. And then I, created a big real estate career, did that for several years, joined a company that had eventually got my husband retired from his job, and we ended up doing mortgages, financial services, and lending. And in 2008, 2009, everybody knows the bubble crashed. And then we had to make an amazing shift in deciding one of us would have to go to work, which was challenging because we decided to take our last bit of money, open a restaurant, which I don't encourage with anybody. And we did that for several years and realized that was just tearing us apart, and had to make a shift. I went into the financial industry. My husband made a shift and moved the kids and just picked up and moved further south. And once we did that, and I realized I didn't really want to work for anybody else, I had to circle back around and say, what was I good at? I know I was good at real estate. So we invested in a real estate company and had a company for 5 years, did well with that. And then things started, moving up, the market started changing. And then we didn't renew our franchise and got into real estate development and construction because that was where I thought I wanted to be. But then I started getting calls from people and said, hey, I know you have some nonprofit experience, and I've been helping nonprofit organizations on their boards to help them raise money. I would write grants for them while I was still in my real estate role, and help them, with the increase of income based on their needs. They needed funding. So I had another organization call me and say, hey, I hear you write grants. You're a grant writer. I said, well, yeah, I do grants every now and then. And then I got recruited by big universities, say, hey, we want you to write some grants for us. And then a medical nonprofit organization say, hey, we hear you write grants. Then I was like, wait a minute. There's something here that I have to pick up to figure out. I'm doing grants, but I love real estate. So how can I merge the two together?
Yep. Hey,
So,
can I stop you for a second? What kind of
yes,
nonprofits really speak to you, Debbie Medina?
from grassroots to large organizations, doesn't matter.
Okay.
And I think that's kind of the key. I have a passion for grassroots because I know where they're going and getting to. So I always tell people I have a passion for the grassroots organizations.
Cool.
But I've done things for universities and hospitals and different medical facilities and different places like that.
So tell people about grassroots in case they haven't heard of that before.
So grassroots is where you come in from the ground floor. Somebody who just started, who are in the trenches, who are out in the community, an organization who breathes and eats and sleeps their community with that passion. And that, those are the organizations that really come to life for me. They really mean something because, we're touching folks. We're actually out there, changing lives when we're doing these philanthropy stewardships. So that's kind of where I fell into, and I don't know if my spiritual path has kind of led me that way. And it's almost like I came up with, a concept with probably within the last 2.5 years. Why can't I merge the real estate and the nonprofit together? How can I help real estate investors fund their real estate deals through getting nonprofit dollars or funding dollars through grants and other funding sources? And this is how this morphed into becoming this great business strategist, fund developer person that I've kind of used as my leverage tool to be able to have real estate investors use their nonprofits. And if they don't have nonprofits, get sponsored by a nonprofit or open their own nonprofit and have the nonprofit support their for-profit business. And that's kind of where I come into this lane now.
Got it. So I asked Debbie, I said, where do I even start? So tell me what you told me, right? I said, where do I start? We have a real estate business. I would love to eventually open a nonprofit. And she asked me a question and she said, well, what are you passionate about? And I started thinking, and I know what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about helping women and women and minorities, right? In these opportunity zones within our local market. And she goes, okay. And then so we kind of continued from there. So tell me what you suggested when I said that was, what actually inspires me in the work that we do here in our local market.
Right. So I think the key is, when we get to a certain age and legacy building and, passion and also tax benefits for the income that we receive from these large real estate deals, we've got to put our money somewhere. And I know some people say, well, I'll write a check to a nonprofit. Why can't that nonprofit be your nonprofit that you're feeding into? But not just that, you had an idea of the passion of working with women and minorities. The funding opportunities is way open for you to do a whole lot of things with your business model. And the money that pours into that nonprofit can help that community.
Absolutely.
And when it's helping the community, it's making your life decisions change as far as where you want to be on that spiritual journey in your life, And I tell people all the time, it's not all about the money. It's more about what legacy or what difference are you going to make in this world. If you and I don't want to seem morbid, but if you died tomorrow and they had to write your obituary, what impact have you made in the community that people can read and speak about you for real? What are you here on this earth for?
Yep.
If you're here on this earth just for yourself, and some people are not believers, and I get that. But if God made you, he made you for a purpose. And your purpose in life has to be something that is fulfilling for him. So if you're helping others and you're doing for others rather than for yourself, then you fulfilled that purpose.
Yeah.
So that's where I come from. Not everybody does, but that's where I come from. And I share that with people to say, when you're deciding to make those decisions about getting a nonprofit or setting up a nonprofit, your passion has to make sense. There's something that you care about, but it also can't affect you financially either. So that's where the grant funding and the funding opportunities come in to say, hey, let's get this dollars. I just seen recently, within the last 6 months, that Jada Pickett and Will Smith had a nonprofit, and they said they were shutting the nonprofit down because of funding. I guess they couldn't fund. Maybe they were funding it themselves. I don't know. And I just said, wow, it's amazing. Entertainers like that, as wealthy as they portrayed themselves to be, for them to say that they had to shut down their nonprofit organization. Why?
Yeah. And I remember what you said to me when I said that broad statement as to what I'm interested in. You said, that's too broad. Narrow it down a little bit to see what you're really, really passionate about. And I said, okay, so in the next 6 months to a year, my goal is to really get close to these nonprofits here in our local market and see what really inspires me. And then, you had mentioned then that they can actually in turn be your sponsor, right? So they would then help me be able to get a nonprofit. And then the next question that I asked you is, well, who can set up my nonprofit, Debbie? And you said,
I gave you someone who can do that, or we can go through the process together, right? So it's not as hard as people think it is. It's just the timing and making sure that you have the appropriate paperwork in hand. And some people say, well, I'll just pay an attorney the money to do it. And you don't have to do that. I mean, unless you just want to do that and pay the money. But, simple enough, if you know how to read instructions, if you follow step by step of what you actually need to submit, because you have to have a tight narrative. You have to have, your mission has to be really effective for the reasons for them to grant you a determination letter is what they give to award you that nonprofit. And then there's variations of nonprofits, right? 501c, 501c, B, you got all these other variations in the bucket. So you want to stay in the lane that you should be safe in as well. So yes, so narrowing down and being specific is important. One thing I do let folks know, sometimes you have to expand that vision or mission to be able to create that narrative that helps you get funding.
Yep.
So you may have to partner with other nonprofits in collaboration with other nonprofits to make that happen. A lot of the funders, that's what they look for. Those are some key buzzwords. Who are you collaborating with? What organization have you done? And what your success rates are. So those are like some of the general things that they kind of look at when they're looking at your, why should I pick you over this person for funding?
Got it. So all things to keep in mind is I'm trying to get close to one of these nonprofits that really speak to me, right? And just, thinking about all those things that you mentioned in the back of my head as I'm moving forward within the next 6 to 12 months. And then you specifically, so once my nonprofit is set up, I can come to you and you will help me find grants to fund our nonprofit?
Right. So one of the things that I tell people, I'm not just a grant writer. I'm more of a funding strategist, business strategist. I help nonprofits to see the sources of revenue that they can not only make, but also the opportunity to expand their vision bigger than what they thought they could by, sharing, some business concepts that will work, that kind of fit the model. Because granted, funding is competitive, right? Some of the dollars can require matching dollars and some can't. So with those funds that you find matching, we got to be creative to find out how can we make the dollars to make sense so that you can match a grant that may be $10,000 and they may ask 50% match. They may say a 20% match. Not all grants are equal. So not everybody's going to ask for that. And we don't always go after those. But if you have an opportunity to be able to understand, where your business model for the nonprofit is going, then we're doing a paradigm shift with these concepts of nonprofits. Because, back in the day, we remember, food pantry, churches, people give away stuff, but they have to get the stuff from somewhere. They have to get the funding. And then they were more scared of asking for money to keep them afloat than actually, saying, not just begging, but we're a business. And then to stay in business, these are the items that we need to support our business and our vision in the community. And I think, shifting people's mindset to what a nonprofit really is and what they do is more of education.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we're out trying to teach the education piece of what this nonprofit does and how can we help and support our community.
Got it. Yeah. And one of the reasons that was an inspiring idea when you mentioned nonprofit is I want to do more and I want to do it faster. And if I had a little help from a nonprofit, not only would I be helping the community, but I would be helping our real estate business grow as well. So it's a little bit of both, right? Like where you were saying, at one point in your life, you said, how could I use this grant writer title that I received, right? And this real estate that I love, and how can I pair them together? So I love that. And that just really inspired me when you and I started chatting about, what was going on in our lives and where we were headed. So what else, what message would you like to leave the listeners here about starting a nonprofit and possibly, connecting it with their real estate business?
I always tell people, do what they're passionate is. They do what they're passionate about, but make sure the passion makes money. So, we have all these ideas in our head that we want to do this and we want to do that. We want to give this and give that, but we don't want to get broke from it either. So we've got to stay focused that it is a business. We've got to be fiscal responsible because it is that's what it is. And creating that growth. And not only that, like I said earlier, why are you here? What are you here on this earth to do? Who are you pleasing? Are you pleasing yourself? Are you pleasing a higher power? What it is that you're pleasing, but something's got to fulfill your life than just every day, working, going to school, taking care of kids. What are you here to do? And are you reaching that mission in your life to say, yes, I've done the work, and He'll be pleasing for me when I get up there to the heavens, and like I said, that's, my life. And I don't push anything on people spiritually, but I ask them for that purpose in their life, what they feel the purpose in their life is, why they think they came and was on this earth, what to do, and what can they do about it. People are always stuck in a funnel, and they're holding tight, and they can't get out of the funnel, and they got to move. You know how the funnel goes narrow, it gets big, wide, and it goes narrow, and they got to get through it. and they're stuck there and they don't know how and what will make me get through it, and they're not happy. And, money doesn't buy everything, and money doesn't always make us happy, but the fulfillment of giving others from the blessings that we have is where the fulfillment comes from.
Absolutely. And actually, I am reading with my son, who's 9. We're reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it's in the very beginning that he's trying to teach them a lesson about working for no dollars. And so anyways, I found that just interesting and inspiring, because he talks about how people are in this cycle and how do they break the cycle, and that people are working for money instead of money working for you, right? And so at the end of like every other page, I kind of take a pause and I ask my son, so what does this really mean? And so he'll explain it in 9-year-old words. So Debbie, how do people find you if they want to talk more about what you're doing in real estate, what you're doing with nonprofits, or just want to connect with you, period?
TheFixItQueen.net, Facebook, Fix It Queen, and the website is TheFixItQueen.net. That's where they can find me.
Simple enough. And so before we go, viewers, I want to read you something that inspired me from the book that we're in, so Real Women in Real Estate, Volume 2. So it says, "To whom much is given, much is required," is an old scripture that I live by. In closing, keep in mind that we are held responsible for what we have. Give back cheerfully, and greater things will happen with your business. I've started from the bottom, and now I'm here. So I think that's a perfect end to our conversation. Debbie, love you, girl. You're amazing. And
love you too.
Can't wait to continue to collaborate with you through my journey. And if there's anything that I can help with on your end, please reach out, and have a blessed day.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Anytime.
It's my pleasure. Have a good day.
Jacqueline and Melvin, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of Get Diversified. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on future episodes. Finally, stop by our website and follow us on social media. Ciao for now. Make it a great day, and we'll see you next time. And remember, get diversified.